All right. Hold on, my child. I love you. If y'all phone's not muted, go ahead and mute them too. And to me, how you made it to all. The power. Power. Oh, I don't know how. I think so. I don't have my account. You're going to record into that. You're going to record into that. But this time, you wouldn't cross the line. Sitting around doing dirt upon my character. Using the same breath that's mine. Father, right. I crossed the line. Always got something to say. If only I could focus on the right thing. It's you that I need. Even in my heart. Shabbat Shalom. Even the words that I'm saying. Shabbat Shalom, Deborah. Shabbat Shalom. As I say it, I will run it off. Think not what you need to say. You bless me with okay, free there. Looks like a water foot. Hey, brother, about y'all war, Mike. Hey, what did we 12? Romans 15 to 6. Man, Shabbat Shalom, Mark. 15 to 6. Trying to get to you, Hebrew.
My daughter here.
All praise.
Got kids. He said, the process started, so she gonna
What's your nigga behind you? You got Philippians 2:1 too. Philippians 2:1.
I think we got it though. I'm gonna give him time to get self. Shabbat Shalom, everybody tune in. Father Yasharala, you the Most High. That's why you the Son on the seat. And all the souls that tune in, everybody else will tune in. Look at you. All right, Shabbat Shalom. All right, family. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the message. Well, before that, let me get that Romans 15. I want to show something real quick. Romans 15, verse 4. Hit verse 4 first. 15 and 4. Romans 15 and 4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever, this is the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. Whatsoever things were written aforetime.
We let them get settled. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The book of Romans, chapter 15, beginning with verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
All right, so everything written before was written for our learning. I said that we, it didn't say me, it didn't say just you, it said that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Go ahead.
All right, verse 5. Now that God of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded, one toward another, according to Christ Yeshua.
All right, so that we be like-minded one towards another with patience. Verse 6.
Verse 6. That ye may with one mind.
With how many minds?
With one mind.
With how many minds?
One mind.
All right, that you with one mind. Go ahead.
And one mouth glorify the Most High.
All right, they glorify the Most High. Now, with that, today's message is titled Effeminate Men and Masculine Women. Effeminate men and masculine women. All right, so with it, this the exercise that I want to do with the body. So it said with one mind and with one mouth to glorify the Most High. All right, Aries, say one mind.
One mind.
Okay. Nephew, you 12 too. You said too. No, not you. To my him.
One mind.
All right, so both of y'all say it together.
One mind.
Say it with some power.
One mind.
All right, now all y'all, all the young boys, y'all say one mind.
One mind.
Say it with power.
One mind.
Okay, this sounds good. All right, Gideon, Cephas, the rest of the men, y'all join in with one mind.
One mind.
Okay, now we see the power building up. The power building from the youth on up to the older brothers. All right, one mind. Say it again.
One mind.
All right, there's power. All right, but it's lacking power. All right, so all the men and the boys, I want y'all to say one mind, but LaPonya, I want you to say it too. Go ahead.
One mind.
Okay, you couldn't even hear her. You couldn't hear it. All right, but it's power in her voice just like it's power in our voices. All right, so let me LaPonya, all the sisters, y'all said two with the men. Go ahead.
One mind.
You gotta say it at the same time. All right, one mind. All the women, everybody, one mind.
One mind.
Okay, now that's more power than just one gender. But the thing is, the adversary came in and say, well, I want to take that power. I want to separate that power. I want to divvy up that power. I'm not going to take it from them. I'm going to cause them to use it against each other. And within that, one of the tactics that the enemy used was to demasculate the men and masculate the women, bringing a breach into the household, destroying unity. It's a lot that come with it. It's so many domino effects that come when the man and the woman is against each other. So many domino effects that come when the man don't want to stand in his position to actually be masculine. When he tuck his tail. Or when the woman want to stand up and she want to be bold like the man. It's a lot of domino effects that come with it. But the end game of it is always destruction. All right. So let's go to let's go to Genesis. We're gonna go to the beginning. So again, the title of the message is Effeminate Men and Masculine Women. It's been a number done on us. Definitely, and most definitely the Israelites, Hebrews, our people. Go to Genesis, Genesis 2. Go to Genesis 2. No, Genesis 1 and 27. It's like we're gonna go to the beginning. All right, because when we look around at our people, we say we destroyed. The men destroyed, the women destroyed, which results in the children being destroyed. So that's another generation bringing up destroyed people. All of that spawned from this. This is a great portion of it. This is how the enemy defeats us. All right, Genesis 1 and 27. What did it say?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. And the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
All right, so the Most High created mankind in his image. But he said he created male and female. Now this is elementary, but we need to go here because he created two different species. This is what the book telling us. Male and female. A woman got different functions that she's supposed to operate in, as the man got different functions. The Most High gave that man a little more bass in his voice, not to be talking all sweet to you. He ain't supposed to be sweet on the children like that. He gave him the bass in his voice so that you would know that this is a man. This is not a woman. You want some soft sound, you talk to your mama. That's who's gonna baby you up and comfort you. Now the man can comfort the children too. The man can have comfort in him because he also, when we talking about spawning after Adam, the man came from a woman as well. We know this. So you still have to have some form of affection, or you're in a raising children who stoic, or they don't have any type of sense of feeling and emotion, and there can be a problem for them. But that's another story. But he said he made male and female. That man got the beard. He can grow that beard long like that. He can grow it wide like that. I know some of the sisters have hormone issues. So sometimes they have a look on their face. That's okay. We love you, baby. It's all good. All right, but aside from that, for the most part, the woman is not, she don't speak like that. She don't have that bass in her voice. She don't grow like this. She don't move like the man do. She's not supposed to. The Most High made her perfect. He made that female perfect like he made that man perfect. But we don't operate in the function that he gave us. Every tool came with instructions, right? All right, so the man end up yielding over everything he's supposed to do to the woman. Or the woman stand up in the place of the man. All right, but we going here, it said male and female, he made them. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 11. What does the word effeminate mean? What does it mean to be effeminate?
11 and what came?
11 and 3. We'll get them trying to get there. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. This is something that we failing to realize. We say we believe in the book, a lot of us. And it's going on in the truth. We say we believe what the book say. We're going to talk about everything that's in the book except this a lot of times. All right, 1 Corinthians 11 and 3.
All right, this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
All right, so this the order. We see this a lot of times. To the head of every man is who?
Christ.
The head of every man is Christ.
Right.
But the problems come in where men don't want to do what they call to do because they don't want to follow Christ. They want to follow their woman. They want to follow their mamas. They want to follow their aunties. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with that in a sense where their woman is spirit-filled. She got the Holy Spirit and she giving you instruction from that point of play, from the Most High like that, with wisdom. But to go that way every time where this who's making the decisions for a man, you will never be a man if you don't ever stand up for yourself to you be a man. All right, so we got, it says the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is the man. But we have the women making the children the head. They following after what the children say. There's obstruction in the way that the Spirit's supposed to flow through the household. He gave us the order for rulership. All right, and what did it finish out and say?
And the head of Christ is God.
All right, and the head of Christ is the Most High. So we want to be connected to the Godhead. So I'm going to say this plainly. A man is not a man if he's not seeking the Most High. I don't care if you can provide, you got this, that, and that. I don't care what you got or what you own. I don't care what you're capable of or what you can do. You can be Floyd Mayweather mixed with Rambo. You still ain't a man if you're not seeking the Most High, if Christ is not your head. All right, but let me get some out the Old Testament because people have a problem with it. Some of us. It's still an issue within the nation. Well, women will hear this. Some men will hear this, like, man, okay, the man is the head or the woman is to follow after the man. You get uncomfortable. That shows that it's an issue within the spirit. We'll harp on, we'll say Esau is the devil. We'll say, destruction to Gentiles. We'll say what the Sunday church ain't doing or what they are doing with tithes and everything else. But the same book that's in, it also tells us, it say, let the women keep silence. That right there will get me stoned. There shouldn't be an issue. Where you will have a man to say, well, brother, well, let's talk about it in this sense. Now, we know it's different senses where it apply in different situations. The woman shouldn't be silent if she know the truth in this man. The woman shouldn't be silent if she's schooling her children. That's a whole other story. But I'm just saying, if we bring up at certain times, let the woman keep silence. People get uncomfortable. We get uncomfortable in that sense, but we don't get uncomfortable with other things. That's an issue. We said we believe in the whole book. All right, but Genesis 3. Genesis 3. Start with verse 16. Genesis 3, we're going to start with verse 16. Then we're going to get the definition of effeminate. Genesis 3, start with 16. We're going to go to the beginning.
All right. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, beginning verse 16. Unto the woman he said.
All right, so this is after Just you know, for anybody who this might be their first time coming across the account or whatever. This is after the adversary then beguiled Eve, and then she didn't give the fruit to Adam, so they transgressed. Go ahead.
All right. I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Right, what the last part say?
And he shall rule over thee.
All right, and the man shall rule over the woman. I didn't say that. This is the same God of Israel right here talking. Said, because you disobeyed, woman, because you let this serpent beguile you, you're going to bring forth children. It's going to be painful when you have children. Your desire going to be to your husband, and that man going to rule over you. This before 1 Corinthians 11. All right, go ahead.
All right, verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Because what?
Thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Now, because you listen to your wife, ain't nothing wrong with listening to your wife. But if she telling you something contrary to the Most High, it's punishment for that. The man's supposed to be on his face praying and fasting and reading and studying and teaching as well. He's supposed to be getting his cup full. He's supposed to be interceding for the family, holding up the banner along with the woman, but the head of the house is the man. All right, go ahead, Saint.
I continue verse 17. And has eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
All right, so the Most High ended up cursing the whole earth because of that, you know what I mean, the way that thing went. The man listening to his wife to go against the father. See, because of that, now the earth curse, and we still dealing with that today. The old curse. Go ahead with the next verse. What did it say?
Verse 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Verse 19. And the sweat of thy face shall thou eat bread.
The sweat of your face, you're going to have to work for that money. We still dealing with that today. It said a man that don't, if you don't eat, if you don't work, you don't eat. And if you don't provide your own household, you worse than an infidel. That same curse is in place. And I'm saying that because look at what caused it. Go ahead.
All right, continue with verse 18. To thee, and thou shalt eat the herbs of the field. All right, verse 19. And the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return.
All right, so you're going to do that till you die. All right, but a bigger issue, what I'm talking about today, what I'm focusing on, is many issues in the household between man and woman. Go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 56.
Deuteronomy 28, 56.
And I'm going here because, like I said, it's the biggest issue amongst Israel, amongst Israelites. Somebody tell me this while y'all getting it. How often have you heard, seen, or had to repeat strong, independent white woman?
No.
How many times you heard it?
Never.
Strong, independent white woman. Strong, independent Chinese woman. Strong, independent East Indian woman. You ain't hearing it. But you're going to hear, that's a strong, independent black woman. Because we the targets, fam. This is what I'm trying to get us to see. That was a part of the dressing it up for the woman to be masculine. Let me take control. Let me take the lead. It's a time for the woman to take the lead. We're going to get that out the book too. The Most High created a situation where the woman was the one who he used. We're going to get that out the book too. What I tell you go to?
Deuteronomy 28 and 56.
Deuteronomy 28 and 56. One of the curses on our people. We don't see those strong, independent white women. We don't see that being promoted. You see them saying, we're going to let him lead. We're going to love on the man. We're going to do everything he say. Therefore, they progressing further than we are. It's another tactic against Israel, family. Go ahead with it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband. Her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
All right, so that woman is so delicate, she's so sweet, she's so feminine. She wouldn't even suffer her feet to touch the dirt. Like, I'm too good for that. She understands the queenliness. I know everybody don't like the word, all the sisters, but she understood that. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not finna try to lift it up. She understood her, you know what I'm saying, her feminine side. But now it's been a switch that, hey, listen, I'm gonna put the pants on. That was a psychological tactic put on the women too. When they started the movement to say, well, the women need the equal rights. Now, as long as the rights is equal in the Most High, we good. Now, the world didn't use that as a precursor, like I said, to create more division in our households. But it says the woman, she didn't even want to put her foot on the ground, but her eye was evil towards her husband. This is with Israel. We see other nations, they hate their husbands and whatnot. But again, we're going here to show we don't hear about no strong white woman, strong independent white woman. They unified in their house. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians 6. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 9. First Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Let me see that dictionary. All right, I'm gonna say this too while y'all getting it. As much as people come together for Sabbath and convocation, whoever teaching, if you can fellowship with them over and over and over and over and over and over, and you never get cut, that person not doing their job. So everybody should get cut at some point in time. If you're not getting cut, you got to check yourself, or he need to check himself. All right, so you got that 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Go ahead with it.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
All right, don't you know, or you must don't know, that the unrighteous won't inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Go ahead.
Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
All right, that's the end of it.
That's it.
All right, so now
The real on is a comma. It ain't a period.
that's cool. That's all I need.
Okay.
All right, so the definition for effeminate. This is out of the Random House Dictionary, the English language, the unabridged edition. Effeminate. It says of a man, soft or delicate to an unmanly degree in traits, tastes, habits, etc. Womanish. That's the first definition for it. Let me read it again. Of a man, soft or delicate to an unmanly degree in traits, tastes, habits, etc. Womanish. All right, so I'm pointing this out, family, because when we talk about men being effeminate, I want to address this too. Some men have a mindset to think that being macho, that's what makes you a man. Because you're a brawler or because of, you shoot the pistol or whatever, because of your beard long, you think you're a man. But you got men who are effeminate based off you sensitive. Everything that somebody say or got a problem with is ticking you off. It's moving you emotionally. That shouldn't happen. You got killers who act like that. Everything that's getting said, the moment somebody says something against you, you feel some kind of way, you mark that person. You don't want to deal with them no more. That's effeminate too, man. That's being soft. We should be able to bump heads, and if I don't like what you said or you don't like what I said, we still should have love between each other. Whether I cut you off or you cut me off or whatever. But that's another form of being effeminate. Aside from just saying that you're not willing to protect your family or yourself, being weak or spineless, not willing to make decisions for yourself. That's all of that going to being effeminate too. All right. The second definition for effeminate. It says characterized by unmanly softness, delicacy, self-indulgence, etc. All right, it's being effeminate when you see men that they love to be in the mirror. They love looking at themselves over and over and over. You in the mirror more than a woman, man. No, that ain't how it's supposed to go. The Most High gave you a different function, man, a man or a male. All right, the third definition says to make or become effeminate. Now, there's one. Now I want to get the definition off of Google because this one missed something. It's another form of effeminate or what happened with how we got to this point. Let me see, effeminate. Let me get it off of Google. All right, and it reads, it says, of a man having or showing characteristics regarded as typical of a woman, unmanly. But then we go further. Where is it at? Let me see. The one that tells me about the catamite. All right, so one of the definitions, I'm not seeing it now. Within the definition, it says something about a catamite. What's a catamite?
Somebody that's soft.
Somebody that's soft, okay.
That's all reading in the Strong's.
Come on.
Talk about that.
Okay. All right, what else? Anybody got anything? What's a catamite? A catamite. C-A-T-A-M-I-T-E. You can write it down. C-A-T-A-M-I-T-E.
I got the definition here.
Come on.
Read it.
I got you. I'm gonna read it out the this dictionary here. The catamite. I got you. I'm gonna read it real quick. All right, so it says here, catamite. Y'all ready? Okay. It says a boy kept for pederastic purposes. A boy kept for pederastic purposes. All right, so in your definition, what you pulled up, it most likely, instead of pederastic, said homosexual purposes. Another form, the biggest form of being an effeminate man. It says a boy kept for homosexual purposes. Now, the branch that we're dealing with from that, you got men who effeminate in the means that you bold on your woman. Yeah, you straighten her out quick, fast, in a hurry. But when it comes to another man, you tuck and tail. Mm-hmm. You spineless when it comes to the other man. Another man overpowering you, treating you like a little boy. You can't be no defending, protecting a nation with that type of spirit, man. In the book, what we just read from 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, the Most High said, men like that, you won't even get in the kingdom. Being soft. But what happened? Over time, don't forget what Psalm 83 say. These Gentile nations, they said, let us come together to cut them out, Israel, from being a nation. They came together to target us. They ain't go to sleep. They ain't discontinued from their heritage. We did. So them collectively, they said, listen, what other form can we destroy them? Let's focus on the man, remove him from the house, so that the woman can raise the children. And then the woman not happy because you're not a man. You can try, you can instill things into him, a boy, but it really take a man to raise a man with the influence of a woman for perfect balance. All right. And likewise, it take a woman to raise a girl with the influence of a man for the perfect balance. But what ended up happening when they done told us, hey, get the man out the house and let her raise him. You got some where you tell their sons to do push-ups or jumping jacks or let's go run. They feel like this is a torment for the child. No, he's supposed to have masculine. Let's do these push-ups. Let's lift some weights. Let's box. Let's wrestle. But then you got men who train up their sons a lot of time too to be soft. Don't let him hurt his knee. Don't let him wrestle with his cousins.
Wow.
Don't do that. Don't build him up to let man all of that come into play for that man being 40. He's gonna be a man one day. There's gonna be somebody's husband one day. That's the goal to have him train. So if he gonna be somebody's husband, the world don't care about him already. Definitely being an Israelite. Being soft on him, you're going to handicap that man. Because when he get out in the world and other men ain't trained their children like that and they come across each other, he going to be the laughing stock. That's the one going to be getting bullied. All right, but that could turn to so many things too. He might end up being the murderer. After he done got bullied so much, he turned to a serial killer. But all of that could have been, changed by you doing what you needed to do. All right, let's go to 1 Kings though. So we had the example, 1 Kings. Well, the Most High said, because you listen to your wife. So I want to get something from 1 Kings. Well, a lot of time we talk about Jezebel, but we don't understand Jezebel. People thinking Jezebel is a harlot. That ain't what the book say though. Jezebel and Ahab or Ahab. So go to 1 Kings. We're going to go to 21.
1 Kings 21. And they always going to get this. So.
I got you. 1 Kings chapter 21.
1 Kings chapter 21, verse 1.
All right.
Living by the way said, can men be gentle? Yes, there should be a difference between men and women. Come on, a man can be gentle. But it's a time to be gentle. Now, we're going to get into that too. I'm not telling any man or brother to feel like you got to be raging in your household or just, like I said, stoic all the time. First Kings 21, start with 1.
All right. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 21, starting at verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass after these things that Naboth and Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria.
All right, so hard by the palace of Ahab or Ahab, king of Samaria. Keep that in mind. This is a king. All right, go ahead.
All right, verse 2. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money.
All right, so the king, proposing to Naboth saying, listen, I like the vineyard you got. Let me give you one even better than it, or I'll pay you money for it in exchange. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid it me, and it's like that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. Verse 4. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread.
All right, so Ahab, he crushed. He said he came in the house heavy and displeased. He was sorrowful because this man rejected him, telling him that, listen, this vineyard, I got this as an inheritance from my father. So it got sentimental value. I can't give it to you, king. Now, again, this the king. Instead of him saying, okay, brother, I feel that's understandable. I'm the king, man. I run whatever, I can go get another one or make one. Instead of that happening, he got sorrowful, went in the house. So he laid in the bed, wouldn't even eat because of this. Go ahead.
All right, verse 5. And Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread?
Go ahead.
Verse 6. And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. Verse 7. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.
All right, so we see here Jezebel, his wife, say to him, she realized you the king. Like what you said for, you the king, man. Get up. But then she turned around and say, I will give you the vineyard of Naboth. So now that mindset of even having concern that this man said this is an inheritance from his father. This is an heirloom. She didn't care nothing about it. We're gonna get that vineyard that you want. But he didn't stop her. He didn't say, hold on, baby, no, I'm good. You right, I am the king. Let me go give me something else. He let her proceed forth with it. All right, go ahead.
Verse 8. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name. Can I say that again?
Go ahead.
So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. Verse 9.
Salaki. All right, so living by the way said Ahab didn't mention to his wife that it was Naboth's inheritance when he spoke to Jezebel. All right, so listen to this again, living by the way. 1 Kings 21, verse 5. He said, But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? Verse 6. And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, and I will not give thee my vineyard. All right, so it's put to him already that it was Naboth's vineyard. You know what I mean? Whether he spoke to her or not for it to be the inheritance, nonetheless, he the king. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't even took that he had to mention that it was the inheritance of his fathers. You see what? Jezebel, she couldn't in to take rulership or operate in the power of the crown. All right, go ahead and pick back up Eliezer.
Okay. All right, verse 9. It says, and she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. Verse 10. And set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die.
All right, so Jezebel went into blasphemy herself, lying on the Most High, saying, look, we're going to proclaim a fast. Now you're getting the people involved. Proclaim a fast, setting the bar on high among the people. And then she put people, 2 men, sons of Belial, or wicked men, demonic men, said to bear witness against Naboth, saying that you blasphemed against the Most High and the king. Then after they announced it to him, carry him out and kill him. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles, were who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. Verse 12. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. Verse 13. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people.
Hold on. I'm hearing a lot of moving. I'm hearing some side chatter or something. Pay attention while the word coming out. Go ahead, son.
Saying Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Verse 14. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying Naboth is stoned and is dead.
All right, so then these men, they understand what the manipulation too. It didn't say that they sent to Ahab. It said they sent to Jezebel. So they was on accord, listening to that wicked one to carry that thing out. All right, go ahead, son.
Verse 14. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying Naboth is stoned and is dead. Verse 15. And it came to pass when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead.
All right, so this man was killed. Now, if we going into the root of the problem, the man was killed not just because he did something evil. The king wasn't standing up in his power. He go in the house like a wimp, laying in the bed, facing the wall, telling us, I can't get the vineyard. So the wife come in, and then she said, well, I'm going to grant you the thing that you want. So the woman operating in the power of the king, which led to this man being slaughtered. Unlawfully. All right, and let's go somewhere else though. That's an example of listening to a wicked one. So I want to get an example of when you can listen to a righteous one. So let's go to Judges. Judges 4. Judges chapter 4. All right, but a righteous woman, she gonna be operating in the capacity of knowing her position too. She ain't gonna be moving masculine. Judges 4. We're gonna start with verse 1. You gotta get in.
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 4, and verse 1. Y'all ready?
Come.
And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Most High, when Ehud was dead. And the Most High sold them into the land of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor. The captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Haroset of the Gentiles. Verse 3. And the children of Israel cried unto the Most High, for he had 900 chariots of iron. In 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lepidoth, she judged Israel at the time.
All right, so right here we seeing that the Most High got Deborah in the place of a judge. And it's not to say she ruled the people. It says she was a prophetess. So when people needed to get answers from the Most High, this the vessel he set up at that time to go holler at her. All right, go ahead with the next verse.
And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel and the Mount Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, has not the Most High of Israel commanded, saying, go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali, and of the children of Zebulun. Verse 7, and I will draw unto thee in the river of Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand.
All right, so the father sent word through Deborah, the prophetess, to tell Barak what to do, what's coming about. Go ahead.
Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go.
All right, so if you ain't gonna come prophetess, then I ain't gonna go. Go ahead with the next verse.
And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor. All
right, so the journey you about to take against Sisera, said this ain't gonna be for your honor. Go ahead.
For the Most High shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh.
All right, so in this account, when you read further, you will see that they gathered. They was ready for battle. Sisera came out. They end up chasing that man. All right, but the Most High had a brother already set up in that area where his wife, Jael, when she sees Sisera coming up, she like, hey, come on in here. Listen, come on in my tent. He come in the tent. He say, well, if any men come looking for me, tell them, listen, I ain't nobody here with you. He go lay down, get under cover. Matter of fact, let's get that part. Let's go with verse Go with 18.
This is the book of Judges. It was in chapter 5, chapter 4, verse 18.
Come on.
And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said unto him, turn in, my lord, turn in to me, fear not. And when he had turned in unto her and to the tent, she covered him with a mantle. And he said unto her, give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. and she opened a bottle of milk and gave him drink and covered him. Again he said unto her, stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be, when any man doth come and inquire of thee, and say, is there any man here? Thou shalt say no.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent, and took a hammer in her hand, and went softly unto him, and smote the nail into the temples, and fastened it unto the ground, for he was fast asleep and worried, so he
All
died.
right, so we see this sister had it on her to where she laid down low. Now, this is the thing though, because we got a lot of masculine women. I'm not saying in this room, I'm just saying throughout the nation. A lot of the women who carry themselves as masculine to bulk up against the man or men don't have it in them to do this. They don't have it to make a righteous kill. And we're going to lay it out a little more flat. Cephas said something one day about the nation altogether. Said, we not really ready to be Israelites. To be real Israelites. Because when we going through the book and it say, if a man or woman did this, you had to stone them and kill them. People not ready for what come with it. If there was the time that we were still living in. You couldn't handle that murder. You couldn't handle the effects of after killing somebody. Even though the Father gave you the unction to do it. So the timing changed, what I'm saying. But in this case, we see that this woman, Jael, she didn't put what did it say? A nail through the temples of this man. Nailed him to the ground. She tripping. Put the nail through the temple of his brain, man, through his head. A lot of us ain't got the unction to even do it, the willpower to do it. And that was of the Most High's hand, though. Read on so you can find it out, though.
All right. Verse, what's it, 22? And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said unto him, come, and I will show thee the man whom thou seekest. And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead, and the nail was in his temples.
23.
So the Most High subdued on that day Jabin, the king of Canaan, before the children of Israel.
All right, so we seen that this was of the Father. See, the Most High subdued Jabin through that means. This is what Deborah was talking about, or what she prophesied about, when she said the journey ain't gonna be for your honor. It's gonna be for the woman right here. All right. Now let's go to second Esdras though.
Can we stop at 23 on that one?
We stopped at 23. Go to second Esdras. So along with the men being effeminate and women being masculine, the things that went into it to make it happen. The foods that we eat. I talk about that a lot.
What chapter you going?
Second Esdras 14.
14.
Yep, but the foods that we in a time where they have to put sugar free on certain foods because of the sweetness, because of the ingredients in the foods. Bless you. Those same things breaking down into a man to you putting more estrogen inside the man. You put more soy. It's the soy. But this same estrogen doubling up in the women is making them more masculine. All right, second Esdras 14:14. But this is the mindset we got to have. And then we'll go into the fact of it. A lot of it is a portion of prophecy, though. Go ahead.
We're gonna get
Second Esdras 14:14. Yep.
all right. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 14, verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts.
All right, let go from you mortal thoughts. Go ahead.
Cast away the burdens of man.
Cast away the burdens of man.
Put off now the weak nature.
Put off what?
Put off now the weak nature.
Put off now the weak nature. That's the end of it. All right, so the men, we got to put the weak nature away. Like I said, it's time for us we got to stand up in those shoes that the Father gave us. A lot of these women operate masculine, like I said, because the men don't. They afraid of their position. They afraid to lead. All right, but then you have women who they end up speaking ill against the man, and it tell you in the book, said a woman can discourage the man like that. You abate the courage. In a lot of these cases, this is something that it turned to too, family. When the men don't, we should be able to disagree with our counterparts. It don't have to be disrespect and cursing or no type of domestic violence behind it. But when it constantly goes on and a man don't check his woman, when she get out elsewhere and she thinks she can talk to another man who he wasn't raised like that, there end up being something. So now this man choking your woman.
Man.
Because you hadn't told, look, baby, you don't talk like, no. Listen, man your tongue. You need to be quiet. A lot of men afraid to even argue with their women, to disagree with their woman. This shouldn't be. I'm not saying that we should be in the households arguing and fighting. I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about the effeminate spirit that I be seeing. The masculine spirit that I be seeing on the women. And a lot of the women who buck up against their husbands or whoever, they wouldn't even do the same thing to a woman. Like, what's going on? You got enough courage to challenge this vessel, where the Most High instilled in him a different form of strength than you got. You're not afraid to challenge them, but you're afraid to talk like that and move like that with another woman. Or you ain't got respect for your husband like that. Or the man ain't got respect for himself like that. But you got it for these Gentiles, though. You're going to respect that Edomite man. You're going to respect that Moabite man. You're going to love on him. But this is a part of these problems, though. This is a part of what we deal with. We got to get that out, because the ultimate thing that the enemy doing with that, keep us divided, man. Keep us divided.
I can let him back on that.
Go ahead.
I would say too, what I be saying too nowadays, a lot of women I saying too, tell young men to like when they go to school, man, somebody hit you, tell the teacher. Or wait till you get home and tell me. You know what I'm saying? And putting it in him to not defend himself. So where somebody bullying him or messing with him, I'm gonna go tell my mom. Right. And this gonna stay on this boy until he become a grown man. And then make him weak. You're gonna make him weak, and he gonna get hit by then. He calling the police like a woman. You know what I'm saying? And this same woman that teach that, like he's saying, a buck up to the man, or fight the man, but when the police come, she's scared. All they mention jail, she's scared. No, I want to go to jail, but you would kill that man. You know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about that from what you're saying, and that was stuff I seen. We ain't teaching the boys to fight back. Women so more scared of their boy getting beat up or hurt somebody, defending himself. They so more afraid of that than I don't know, man. It's just a problem, man, with the women, like, or making our men feminine. They don't want him to hurt nobody. They don't want him to defend himself. They want him to snitch. With the black eye, he got a black eye, but he's snitching. The teacher ain't gonna walk home with him after he snitched to the teacher. She ain't gonna walk home with him. The bully gonna follow him home. The mom ain't gonna go to school with him. She'll transfer his school, and guess what? It'll be a bully there. Now we need to teach these boys to fight back and stand up for themselves, because they're what they is.
Indeed.
Can I say something on that? On that same point. I can think back when I was a kid growing up in the 80s. Back in those days, somebody trying to bother you like that. Back in them days, you scrapping.
Right.
You finna box.
Right.
Up. You know what I'm saying? Back in them times, but now it's just straight up weakness, man.
Right.
I want to add something to that too.
What you got?
Because in the scripture where the father, you know how when we used to get to fight in the street, your mom said you can't come in the house until you go out there and fight. And the Most High did the children of Israel that same exact way when they didn't go down in the Canaan to fight. Because of because of fear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of fear installed into them. You know, coming out of the wilderness.
Yeah.
When they was trying to transition over into Canaan, they went down there and they brought an evil report back from Canaan. And the Most High said, look, I'm going to do away with it. Because they had fear that the children wasn't going to make it. But the Father said, all right, y'all not going to make it, but the children that you said ain't going to make it, gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So, that fear, that, like, it's a lot of fear tactics played out. You know what I'm saying? We look at certain things as, oh, I got this, or I got that. You know what I'm saying? Which everything should be counted as a sacrifice, especially when we're talking about being servants to the Father. Everything is counted as a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So we come into this walk, we have to sacrifice so much. We have to sacrifice past friends. We have to sacrifice all ways. You know what I'm saying? One of the hardest things to sacrifice is getting rid of those old friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the hardest things to sacrifice. So those fear tactics, you know what I'm saying, gotta be dead. You know what I'm saying? And then us as men, we teach our children not to be afraid of nothing.
I'm glad you said that too. Because when we talk about killing the old man or the old woman, I realize that a lot of time when we say put down the old man or the old woman, we think of fornication. We think of getting drunk. We think of brawling. But a lot of time when we not thinking, some people's old ways is that you were too passive. You too nice. You too kind. That's a part of your old man or old woman. You need to kill that. Or for the masculine women, you were too, you know what I mean, you too clamorous or rambunctious. You need to kill that. You know what I mean? That's a part of your old ways. So I'm glad you mentioned this, son. But go to Isaiah 3. Isaiah chapter 3. So a portion of this is happening, like we came from the curses, Deuteronomy 28 and 56. The effeminate man and the masculine woman, they come from there too. Not keeping the Father's commandments. Not having a faith in the Messiah. Not understanding or desiring or being guided by the Holy Spirit. You got to have all three. So in that case, when we turn our back on the Godhead or the Most High, this is what he said was going to happen. Or Isaiah 3, verse 12. When you get there.
We're gonna get
You said you got it?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead with it.
This book Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
Oh, look. He said, as for my people.
Yeah.
He said, as for his people. We come from Hosea 4 and 6. He being specific, man, these Israelites. He said, for my people, children are their oppressors. So this is what we talking about. We're going to where I said the woman, she ain't want to do it. The children leading the woman. You too soft on the children. The man too soft on you. Everything out of order. Said children are their oppressors and women rule over them. Women ruling over us. Go ahead, son.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err. They which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy path.
Destroy the ways of thy path. All of that happened though, to where the children is the oppressors and the women ruling over, because their man afraid to walk with the Messiah. Because their man don't want to get down and give up his way, get in the book and actually operate like what the book telling you. The book ain't telling us to be effeminate and to be soft. The book's supposed to strengthen you. It's supposed to shed off those fears that you had. Or if you had in it, you facing them and overcome them. Or you wrestling with them. All right, let's go to Isaiah 29. Isaiah 29, then I got another one too, Mr. Rock. Would you have some?
Oh, it was just a little commentary. I'll say it in a minute.
Okay, Isaiah 29, verse 15. This is where we going.
Really? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who see of us and who know of us?
All right, woe to them, destruction to those people. Which a mass portion of today's subject and topic, again, is coming from these outside influences. It's coming from the Gentile nations. It's coming from the coons or coonettes of our nation who deciding to take lead with the people, you know what I mean, against us. Then that's what a coon is. I'm not talking about people who saying like you are orphan and you don't know your parents and your actual, the person you saw as a brother was an Edomite or some other Gentile. I'm not talking about that. Those who will sell their own out for these other people, that's what you call a coon or a coonette. All right. So in this case, it's saying that woe to them who take their counsel. Verse 16, what did it say?
Verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?
All right, we're going here again for the case that these other nations, they took counsel against us. They decided to put it into the music and put it on the TV and put it on the clothes. Just like, if I'm not mistaken, this past Super Bowl, it was the first time where they had male cheerleaders. Male cheerleaders. But guess what nation the cheerleaders was? They was Israelites. They were our people. Yeah, it's always us. That's what I'm saying. But that was a part of the text. I got a remote. That's a part of the text, again, to make our men effeminate. We ain't heard, we know what's up with them a lot of cases. So I'm talking about in-house issues with Israel. All right. So I want to show something right quick, though. This is applying Sirach 5 and 15, which tells us to be not ignorant in any matter, small or great. Perfect. Everything connect how we need it to. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play it off the laptop, but then I'm gonna shoot it from my phone to the TV for y'all. So y'all will get it probably when we close out with the message. But I'm gonna go ahead and play it here. So I'm gonna share the screen.
It's on the right HDMI channel.
It is.
Чтобы ускорить проведение массовой вакцинации, городскими властями решено было более активно вести работу с населением по применению новой вакцины от коронавирусной инфекции. Некоторые уссурийцы не были готовы к такому заботливому шагу со стороны властей.
А что происходит вообще? Скажите, пожалуйста.
Чтобы исключить распространение коронавируса в уссурийском районе...
This is supposed to be in Russia, where they got special ops going into people's houses, forcing them to be vaccinated. Now, I'm gonna say this: how real this supposed to be, because we know that they still play games with the media. I don't know, but again, this for FYI, for we'll be aware of what they, what's going on. Is this a part of the propaganda or is it the real deal? I don't know. But we do know what the book say. The time they're supposed to come where they'll be pulling us out of our house. So on and so forth.
Было решено организовать специальные санитарные группы, которые будут работать с населением и выявлять тех, кто по разным причинам до сих пор не обезопасил себя от опасного вируса.
Да я, если честно, я в шоке, просто понять не могу, это что вообще, что это такое? Я думаю, скота еще привьете, блин, на самом деле, блин, что у меня действительно все больные, что ли, ходят?
На одном из подобных медицинских рейдов побывал председатель исполнительного комитета Виталий Наливкин.
Тебе что, трудно было самому сходить сделать прививку? Вот это видишь? Вот это продолжение твоей жизни. Как ты этого понять не можешь?
Проведение подобных мероприятий по ускоренной вакцинации населения впредь будет организовано на постоянной основе. По словам Виталия Наливкина, граждане, не испытавшие на себе действие новой вакцины, не будут допущены к работе в бюджетных организациях, а также будут лишены возможности обслуживаться в госучреждениях.
И мне уже не важно, болеешь ты, не болеешь. Мне не нужны больные в Приморье.
Также помимо обычных граждан, обязательной вакцинации подлежат и госслужащие. Так, одним из активных противников применения новой вакцины являлся сотрудник полиции подполковник Алексей Андрейченко, который своими действиями ставил под угрозу эпидемиологическую ситуацию в Уссурийском районе.
Почему вакцину не сделать? Не собираюсь делать вакцину, это добровольное дело. Я не болею, мне ваша вакцина нужна. А что, решили меня на иглу, что ли, посадить? Давай убирай. Я не буду ничего делать.
Убедить Андрейченко испытать на себе действие нового препарата помог Виталий Наливкин.
Тебе что, тоже жить надоело? Я для чего этот закон издал?
Нормально, кто издал?
Вот это что, по-твоему? Теперь каждому будет прививать.
Кроме того, председатель напомнил, что все госслужащие, не прошедшие вакцинацию, будут в обязательном порядке отстранены от занимаемых должностей. После проведенной работы с населением уссурийцы более охотно стали соглашаться на добровольное использование нового препарата. Благодаря новым принятым мерам по ускоренной вакцинации граждан, Уссурийский район вышел на первое место по количеству сделанных прививок.
Все вакцины, обязаловка. Не хотите сами, насильно заставят.
So we see that there. Again, I don't know if it's a part of them, they're just running a program and saying, that this was actually going on, or if that's the real deal, like they really running in people's houses forcing the vaccination on them. Sirach 5 and 15. Be aware. All right, now let's go to Sirach 33 though. Sirach 33 and 18. So with everything that was said, as far as effeminate men, masculine women, the cure for it is the scriptures, the Most High, Hamashiach, the Holy Spirit, keeping the commandments, aligning ourselves with the Most High. And I don't understand some of the women been raised by nothing but males though. So some of them masculine because of that reason. But praying to the Father, help me to be more feminine. The man asking to be more masculine. There's a lot of men, they don't feel like men. So they have to do extra stuff just to feel like a man. Even on the flip side of it, where women do the same thing. But again, the cure and the solution is the Most High, man. Get in this book. Look at how the women of old operated. Look how the men of old operated. But you got to be praying for balance from the Holy Spirit. Praying for balance in all of it. All right, Sirach 33, verse 18. That's where we're going to start it.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 18. Mm-hmm. Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation. Mm-hmm. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest.
All right, so admonishment for the men saying, look, don't give nobody power over you. Go ahead.
And give not thy goods to another.
And give not your goods to another. Go ahead.
Lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
Verse 19.
There was 19.
Oh, there was, okay. But it said, give not your power, give nobody power over you. The only person supposed to be the head is the Most High. That's what it's supposed to be. Sure. Now, when this affected, when a man don't want to be led by Hamashiach, the Messiah, he not asking to be guided by the Ruach, the Holy Spirit. He not honoring the Father. Then it's going to be a bunch of disruption. All right? As far as the women being masculine, it's just to take the time out to, you need to be around feminine women a lot of times. Sometimes the man need to be around women. This is something that came up too. So side note, if that man is always around his wife or his mama or his sisters all the time, you ain't got enough testosterone flowing around you, bro. You need to get around some more men. You know what I mean? To increase that, to understand how men are supposed to operate. And likewise for a woman. All right, question, comments, and concern about today's message.
I wanna add that the absence of our men is because the absence of the father, so it affects the whole household.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So because we're absent of the father, that means that we are absent in our homes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because us knowing the father, knowing that he's family oriented, you know what I'm saying, he know our objection. You know what I'm saying, and our obligations is to bring it forward, righteous seed. You know, but because the father is absent in a lot of our brothers, that means that they're absent in the home, they don't know the order.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And with that, you know, so many of us, you know, we grew up again, like Uncle just saying, no fathers in the home. So then many times our young men turn to the streets. We turn to the streets for love, for guidance, for that brotherhood, if you will. But you ain't gonna be down unless you kill this person. You know, unless you sell this, you know, this little bag, different things like that. You know, end up setting a trap for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But again, like it's like looking for love in the wrong place.
What you got?
Yeah, father can still be in the home with the son, but he'll put the work. I'm talking about myself. I put the job first before I put my son. I try to provide. I should spend more time with my son. The father gonna be in that house, but he got to limit how much he put toward that work and start putting time with his children. You can be in that house, but put some time with your children. You can provide for the house, but put some time with your sons and your daughter and your wife. All they got to come together for that family to be able to operate in the mind that the Most High was operating. I was one that work all day long, all day and night. My sons, yeah, here. My wife, she here. My daughter, here. So we can be in the house, but we got to put our perspective right.
We got to master that balance. I feel the same way. You know, it's like, you know, we got to work, we got to provide for our family, we love them. But I'd be thinking like, man, I wish I had more time to spend with my wife, more time to spend with my daughter. My other daughter, she grown now, you know, but she came to visit last week. You know, all prayer, we had a good time and everything. But that family time is crucial, man.
If you see some of them, they making sure they go to them baseball.
Yes, sir.
They making sure they
let little Johnny have a soccer game.
They going. They going.
They got a lot of leisure time.
Yeah,
they should.
You know, rape, robbery, and murder, and luxury after.
That's right.
So they have the leisure time. And I was a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? So I got off the road. I just pretty much quit.
Right.
And just made a sacrifice and depending on the Father. And that's where the whole free will concept comes from.
Oh, praise. Oh, praise.
To be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, with my children, I'm teaching them how to garden. So, you know, we trying to start gardening in that garden. Like, I want it to be like exactly what's being discussed. I wanted it so bad that I made the sacrifice to not work and to utilize what the Father has given me. And allow that to manifest finance. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to teach those very same things to my children.
That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing.
Indeed. So any other questions, comment, or concern? Anything else? What you got?
Kind of like back on what Brother Azar was saying. What do we say to our sons when the mom or the father lives in the house, both of them are in the house, and they're telling me Johnny or whatever his name might be, or little Cindy. They telling them, you got to be tough, you got to buck up, and you don't take down from nobody. So then you see these same people grow up to children, grow up to be adults, and they're standing on these corners with these big guns. And time their brother come up, but they didn't tell them anything about the Most High. Time their brother or sister step up, now they're ready to cut them down because my mama, my dad told me I got to buck up, I got to be strong, I can't be no weak. You know, I'm not effeminate, ain't no I can hit the chest. Say it with your chest, little nigga, or how, what's God saying? Say it with your chest. Then they come up with that type of stuff. Then what do we say? Because a lot of times I've seen our young men out on the streets like that, and I am afraid of them. Like they said, white women and whip their person, hold on tight to. I do that when I see young men out there because somebody has told them you can't be soft no kind of way. You got to be buffed up and all this. So I think, like you said, it's got to be a equal balance with both parents in the home. The father would he have his strength, and the mom with her sensitive ways. I think they have to come into a balance of any person in order to be well rounded.
Indeed. Well, you pretty much answered it. But get Sirach 4:30. See, if we tell them to be tough, you got to be telling them about the Most High before that. Be tough in the Most High first. Show them these examples. You don't say, would it make you weak? Because there's a whole other conversation too. Because some people feel like forgiveness or saying thank you or saying, excuse me, being a male, they make you soft. But that's how they train them. They don't say that. It's certain words that we should train our sons on how to say. Like I tell Pilot, don't say hey to me. You say hey to a woman. If you talking to me, what's up, Pop? What's going on? Shalom. Ain't no hey. That word got a connotation that's feminine. You know what I mean? Now a man might say that to a woman. Hey, how you doing? Follow that up. Cause follow it up with how you doing. Not no hey.
Well, I never say hey to you.
I tell you, man.
You can't say what's up in New York, man. You get beat down. You go to New York, you tell somebody what's up. You want to box.
But one of the things too, though, family, I was just about to say, I lost my train of thought. Read that. I get it. Sirach 4:30. Sirach 4:30. Sirach 4:30.
You got it?
I got you.
All
right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 30. Be not as a lion in thy house.
Be not as a lion in your house.
Nor frantic among thy servants.
All right, so what it's telling us, be a man, but that don't mean you got to always be trying to come down. Like you feel like you got a point to prove. You not being a man then either. If you feel like every time you got to be hollering at your wife, at your children, you got to be so controlling. You're not a man then either. It's about balance. He put that woman in your life because you don't have all the answers. The Most High might give her, he might block it from your understanding. Say, no, this is why I gave you a wife. What would you need to help me for if she couldn't help you? If you figured everything out, you wouldn't need that. So in the cases where, brothers, it's not to be macho. He said, but don't be frantic among your servants either. So you afraid. You afraid to ask for help. You afraid to lead. You afraid to pray. You afraid to whatever. So don't be like that. So again, it comes in with the balance. It was something I was just gonna say, man. My train of thought. You got something?
Yeah, and I shared with the group. I did a lesson on how you were husband, and there's like 3 different levels. And we touching on it today. Like either you gonna be a submissive man, you gonna be stern, or you gonna be violent. These are only 3 type of men that I've seen from you. Like either you gonna submit or you gonna be stern. But the sternness is the balance. You're not violent, nor are you submissive.
Right.
But you right there like, look, I said order.
That's right.
And that's it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have like what Paisley was saying earlier, you don't have to curse to do it.
Exactly.
You truly don't have to curse to do it, but you gotta be stern in doing it. You know what I'm saying? He gave us a voice as men for a reason. To be stern, to set order. That's it. That's all.
And see, just like that, this one I'm getting to. A real man don't want no masculine woman.
That's right.
I shouldn't have to argue with you about everything. I'm fighting for control in the house. I don't need you.
That's right.
You don't understand the order. But neither do a real woman want no effeminate man.
That's right.
Man, what is this? Why every time I'm talking to you, you know what I'm saying? You talking all soft to me. She can go talk to her girlfriends for that, man. The other sisters. You know what I'm saying? So real men don't want no masculine women, and real women don't want no soft men. You got to, when you see a man, you're supposed to think protection. You're supposed to think provision. If a woman stay alone, and then somebody, the neighbors watching, they see a man there, that man's supposed to be like, man, if it's a man in their house, whatever he was plotting against their household, once he see that man, he should think twice. But if he thinking, oh man, they all lunch, all on breakfast, there's a problem with that man. It's a problem. All right. Of course, anything.
I got one more thing.
Go ahead with
that. This is one thing that I always wondered, like growing up as a shorty, well, a young man in the Chicago. You know, to see the one-on-one, like the one-on-one fight is rare. Even back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, it's like, you know, if I'm a man and you're a man, we got a problem, whatever. If we fight, just me and you should fight. That's it. But the way it's been for so long, it may start off with just a two men fighting one-on-one. No bats, no knives, no nothing, just fists and knuckles. Right? Okay, but one got more skill, he got the hands compared to the other one. And once he started getting the best of the other cat, then his partner gonna jump in. So now you got four dudes beating up on one guy. When it started with just mano a mano first, man to man first. You know, it just tripped me out. You know, I'm just saying, you know, not trying to go off left field, but it's just like,
it makes sense.
That's a fair take too.
In Chicago, whatever.
You too, John. After
Young lady.
After you though.
In Chicago, what I see, man. Like me and this brother, right? We getting fight. Alright. Another brother wanna go home, get a gun.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Why you gotta shoot the brother? Y'all just
he went home. He had plenty of time to think about it.
Yeah, but he got beat up, Jeff, because this person got beat up, right? Now he all embarrassed, so he beat up from his girlfriend. So he gotta come back with a gun and not kids.
It's effeminate too.
Yeah.
You get took away from his girl. So
Yeah, I did. I had some commentary on the elder was saying how he worked a lot, and I dealt with a man who worked, and at some point they kind of never needed to take on some of that masculine energy. You know what I mean? So, that is a big part of, you know, how a lot of the times women do have these masculine characteristics, because although we do date these men or we married, at some point they got to hold down the household. At some point they're away, you know, so they do lead the woman to take on more responsibility as a mother, which means at some point we might have to hold some of those masculine attributes. But two, knowing balance and knowing that, you know, you're still a woman, you're still a lady, knowing how to, you know, equal that out and balance that out is important. But with that come knowing the Most High. Because a lot of women, we don't, you know, we don't have that mother, that father, we don't know how to be a woman, you know, but knowing the Most High is going to give us that knowledge on how to be a woman, you know, so.
Be calm.
Indeed, there's definitely another fold to it. A lot of men don't know how to be men, like the women don't know how to be women, because where we come from, they wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely understandable. Something else that came to mind. Y'all got any questions, comments over the net? Yana Kassi said Proverbs 21:9. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Judah the Lion said, I ain't no more fighting out. Yeah, we must use discernment. I ain't trying to be the toughest. I want to be the smartest and live to make it home. Come on. Indeed. Come on, make it home.
Make it home.
Yep. Indeed, man.
I
So,
remember a lot of times, like going home from work. If I missed that Cicero bus back in Chicago, if I missed that bus, man, that's a long walk to the house. You know, so I'm walking by myself, and now I see about 10 cats right in front of me. So, you know, I'm trying to be smart. I cross the street, I didn't way down. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if I try to walk through them, they're gonna beat me down. My God, this is
we're gonna go ahead and pray out.
The real job.
A whole lot more we could have went into it.
I'm already rich. I
Just touched on certain things that
I need some money.
What you need some money for?
bless y'all. I got keep getting blessed, Lord.
I need it down.
You need it now. Now, what you gonna do with it, Jim? You gonna go to the strip club or something? You don't gonna be at the strip club throwing them on.
I need y'all to cheeseburger. Take care of your
I'm eating that red meat. The red meat gonna make it look like cheese.
Oh.